Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and as you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my labor and delivery story. So if you would like to see how that went for me, stay tuned, and you might as well hit that subscribe button because I'm going to keep coming with the videos, so you got to keep watching. But now, stay tuned and I'm going to share my story with you guys. Okay, so to start this all off, Saturday, October 6th, my due date. My mom was really pressed for me to have Legend. Like, she was very anxious. I was anxious, but I was more scared. So I'm like, maybe the fact that he didn't come, like, I could stretch out my scaredness. Like, I had more time to be scared, more time to prepare. She did give me eggplant parmesan, and it was it tastes like nothing. The place that I got it from, I had them put extra tomato sauce on it. If you see me looking to the right, it's because I'm watching him. So yeah, but yeah, so I did have eggplant parmesan. I didn't feel anything different. I thought I was gonna like feel crazy or something because I was reading about how so many women went into labor after eating eggplant parmesan. So I'm thinking like after I eat this, I'm about to zoom. Like it wasn't like that at all. Um, my mom had me like vacuuming, doing squats around the house. It's crazy because my doctor told me that he was gonna induce me next week because when I got checked the day before my due date, I was only 1 centimeter dilated. So he figured I was gonna take time, and obviously it didn't. So um, yeah, so I was moving around a lot. I was taking walks, long walks. My mom would have me walk around the whole freaking neighborhood. I would be having contractions, breathing, stopping for breaks and all that stuff. And she was just like, "You gotta keep going. Like you gotta get them out." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna keep walking, whatever." Maybe like 10 p.m. ish, I believe. And I started having contractions consistently. Like I would be having contractions, but they wouldn't last um, more than like 10 minutes. Like they would just happen and then they would be gone. So when I was having them for like an hour straight, but they were like 15 minutes apart. So I was getting a little nervous, you know. I was like, this might be it. So I'm texting my mom. I'm documenting. I'm keeping track of the time of when I'm having them, how far apart they are, and they're getting kind of close. And I'm like, okay, like I'm texting my mom, like, okay, they're getting kind of close. And I think she was like at the supermarket or something. She wasn't like far, but she wasn't. She just wasn't home. So um, I was getting kind of nervous, and then I just felt this urge to just shower. Like I was just like, I need to shower. Maybe I was having all my pain in my back, so I'm like, I need to shower because I want the hot water to like be on my back. Like I need some type of warm sensation on my back. So I got in the shower. Um, they were happening a little less in the shower, but they were still happening. Like I could tolerate the pain in the shower. It wasn't that bad. Um, so yeah, I got out the shower. I thought they stopped. So by now it's probably like 12 a.m. Technically Sunday. They kind of stopped. They kind of slowed down. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like maybe I just was having like false contractions, like Braxton Hicks or something. I get dressed, moving around. I think I went to go get something to drink or something, and then they start back up. So now they're coming harder. They're coming like, dang, like this hurts. Like my back hurts. And let me tell y'all something. They tried to tell me the closest thing to a contraction would be a period cramp. No, that's not true at all whatsoever. No. So don't fall for that. my period cramps were so bad, I would cry. So I know what bad cramps feel like. I've been there, done that, all that. So they literally feel like your bones are cracking and they're breaking, and it just feels horrible. Like it feels ridiculous. Like a pain that I cannot like describe. It's crazy. So I would rate my pain when I was at home when they were like starting to be like 8 minutes apart. That pain was maybe like a 6. So my mom just watching me, and she's like, "Do you want to go?" And I'm like, like, is this really about to happen? Am I really about to have a child? And then I was like, kind of getting anxious because last time I went to the hospital, because I was having contractions, they sent me home. And that's one thing I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go there, have them check me, because that's just like, I don't like unnecessary checking. Like, it just bothers me enough that they have to be all up in my area. Okay? So, I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want them to say that I was dilated but not dilated enough. So I wanted the pain to really be 5 minutes apart. I wanted them to be consistent. They ended up being consistent. I ended up going to the hospital. I want to say maybe like 1 a.m. It was late. It was really late. In the car, that's when like I would start crying. That's when the pain would start crying. I definitely feel like when I was sitting up in the car, the pains in my back, it's making my back hurt, like just talking about it. The pains in my back did hurt more. I don't know if it was like the position I was in. I tried to lean back in the car, it still hurt. Like it just was. But then I'm not thinking that I'm about to have a child. Like I'm thinking like I'm just like having pains, like I'm having contractions, they're gonna send me home. I wasn't thinking, that this is real. So I get to the hospital, had me sign in. I was in pain. I was crying while I was signing them papers. I was in so much pain. They literally called me like 5 minutes after I signed in. Um, I started crying, walking to the room because of how much pain I was in. It was to the point where I couldn't walk. I had to stop, slouch over, like hands on the wall, like cry. That's how bad it felt. Got into the room. They put the monitors on me, checked the baby. He was doing good. All that stuff was good. Um, they checked me, and I was 3 centimeters. So I'm like, oh my god, I moved 2 centimeters in a day and a half. Like this is good. Like we doing good. So she's like, I'm gonna let you walk around for a little while, and when you're done walking around, we're gonna see if like your body is, if your cervix is opening anymore. So, walking around the hospital with my mom and having contractions was definitely something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Like, I'm gonna remember that moment for the rest of my life. Like, we're walking. Every 3 minutes, I would have a contraction, so I was just mid-stop, and she's still walking. Yeah, like I was going through it. And the walking, I was getting dizzy when I was walking too, because they would tell me I couldn't eat anything, just in case like I did go further, faster. So I was in pain. I was getting lightheaded. I was getting dizzy. But like my mom was like, "Come on, you gotta keep walking. You gotta keep walking." And I'm like, "Okay, like I need a break. I'll keep walking, but I need a break." Like that's how I was feeling. And after like 30 minutes of walking, we sat in the waiting room for a little while. Contractions were still there. And every time before I would have a contraction, I would just be like, no. Like, that's what I would do. My mom would just start laughing. And then as soon as they would come, she would stop laughing. Like, that's how, like I felt so bipolar with my contractions. Because, like, as soon as they're done, you just talking again. But when they happen, you just, you don't know how long they're gonna last. You don't know, why, like, it hurts so bad, y'all. Like, it hurts so bad. I can honestly say my contractions hurt way more than the whole pushing. That's all I'm gonna say. For me. So I get back to the room and they're like, okay, it's like 3.5 or something like that. Like, not too much more than what it was before I started walking. They could see that my body was like, working on opening. So they asked me, did I want to get induced or did I want to take morphine and something else I don't remember and relax my body, and I'll be asleep for about 6 to 8 hours, I think they told me. And they would wake me up and then they would see what my body's doing. Now, honestly, this is a blur. I do remember getting the shot in my butt. You do get this big behind shot in your butt. It hurts so bad. Like, so much pain during this whole journey. Like, it's ridiculous. But I do remember getting a shot in my butt. I remember them putting the IV. They put the IV here, which is not normal when you're giving birth. You're supposed to get it like up here somewhere up here. But they couldn't find a vein, so they put it in my arm right here. So it was hurting. Like when I would have a contraction, I'm trying to grab on the side of the bed. Like, it was just not. I did not like that at all. So after this, it just becomes a blur. I felt like I woke up and I was in the labor and delivery room, because still I was still in the like the triage room. So I kind of feel like I just knocked out for that long, and I woke up and they woke me up, I think, and they checked me and they saw that, like, okay, this is happening. I'm like on and off sleeping. My mom's still there. She's on and off sleeping. We're just like sleeping. I'm still having contractions, but since the meds are in me, it doesn't feel that bad. Like, it's like manageable. It didn't wake me up when I had my contractions. It was just a little pain here and there, but it wasn't enough for me to like really wake up out of my sleep. Once the meds started wearing off, it was back. I was like, oh no. Like, I need drugs. I need them now. Now. Like, right now. Like, y'all should have stuck something in my IV hours ago so I wouldn't feel it now. Like, that's how crazy I was feeling. They were becoming so close together that literally when one contraction would be over, you would not have time to bring it back together to be prepared for the next one. That's how close they were together. They were hurting so bad, and that's when they asked me, do I want epidural? I said, hell yeah, give me that. Because I would not. I was in too much pain. And I told myself, this is what I've been saying the whole pregnancy. I basically was just saying, like, I'm going to go as long as I can without medication. That's, when it got there, I was like, yeah, no, I need drugs. Like, I need them now. Okay? So I was kind of scared to get the epidural. The guy comes in. He's a very nice guy. And my nurse was super nice. Like, she was so calm. She was like a hands-on nurse. Like, she was like holding my hips and rubbing my hips while the contractions would come. When it was time to get the epidural, she was like holding me. Like, she was very hands-on, very sweet. And the staff at that hospital did an amazing job. And I think that's what made my experience a little better. Like, it made my experience really good. So the epidural, my mom was just telling me, don't look at it. Like, don't look at it, It was just creepy to me that there would be a needle going in my back. So, in all honesty, the epidural did not hurt. It feels uncomfortable because you're slouched over and you can't move while there's a needle going inside of you. That's the part that is like kind of creepy. But as far as getting the epidural, no, it doesn't hurt. It feels weird when it sets in your body and like everything goes numb. That felt a little weird, but again, it did not hurt. So I'm not even gonna lie and tell you what time it should be around that time. But all I know is the doctor came in and she told me we can start pushing. When she said those words, I'm like, oh my God, this is real life. Like, this is really about to happen. Like, I'm really about to have a kid. Like, I was going through all these emotions, and it just felt so unreal that I was the me. I was about to go through all this. So I know what time we started pushing exactly. We started pushing at 6:58. Let me tell you about the pushing, okay? So it's so awkward. Your legs are just up, like, like in the movies. They really be up. Your legs really be in them little things. So everyone's just staring at your hoo-ha. Like, it's just like, I don't know why I thought like this process was gonna be like 1, 2, 3, he's out. Like, I don't know why I thought that. So you push, they do 3 sets of 10, and they tell you to push like you have to poop. Now, when you're on epidural, you can't feel the bottom part of you. So I was just like in there, like straining, and like I was in there straining. Like, I was really pushing. Like, I'm really trying to get him out. I kept telling me I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Maybe like an hour into pushing, maybe they they asked me if I would be okay with taking a break and sitting up like in a 90-degree angle and having him. No, it was way more than 90 degrees. Like, basically in a position where he could slide out by gravity. Like, the position they put me in would make him do it on his own, or not literally come out all the way, but like a little bit on his own. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. So I'm doing that for like 30 minutes. Like, towards the end, I'm like, oh my God, like I literally could feel him down there. Like, it was like, oh wow, this is real. Like, this is real life. Like, I could feel him. Before, I was pushing, and I was just like, it doesn't feel like I'm moving him. Like, he's moving. I didn't feel that way. But when I sat up for that gravity thing, I felt him literally making his way. Okay? Creep me out. So I'm pushing, and um, my dad was on his way. He literally made it just in time. So my stepmom comes in the room with us. So it's me and my stepmom and my mom. My stepmom's crying, and my mom's like, "No, like you can't be crying. Like, we out here trying to have a baby. Like, I'm not crying. I'm hot. I'm just so bothered that everyone's just in my space. Like, y'all all up down there. Like, dang." So pushing, whatever. They're like, "You're doing so good. You're doing so good." And I'm just like, how am I doing good if he's not out yet? Like, and then, girl, then like his, I guess, BRB. Okay, I'm back. I had to change my clothes. I had to get comfortable. Um, I took my lipstick off. Look like it's a whole new day, but it's literally an hour later. But I had to take my lipstick off because I can't kiss my baby with my lipstick on. But no, when they sat me up for gravity and I laid back down, ready to push again, it literally felt like it was like a freaking basketball between my legs, like trying to come out. Like, that's how I knew it was time to like it's go time. Like, I was pushing before, but now that I could feel him, it's really time to go. So I'm pushing, and he's really not coming out. Like, I'm obviously not pushing hard enough, or he's just being stubborn. Probably was me, but yeah. So pushing, and then it got to the point where his heart rate wasn't. It was going really fast. Like, he was like going really fast. I think it was too much for him. So they put this skinny, literally probably like this thin, like the width of my necklace, inside of me to control or monitor his heart rate because it wasn't picking up on the monitor on the screen, which creeped me out because I'm like, is he okay? Is it me? Like, am I doing something to him? And they're just like, no, he's just like, he's getting anxious. He's ready to come out. Like, you gotta get him out. So I'm like, okay, not, but like, I'm scared because it's like anxiety and it's like, oh my gosh, like they had to put this thing inside of me to check my baby. Like, I hope he's gonna be okay. So I'm pushing again, like I said, they do the three 10 seconds. And I feel like I'm not going to say, I was getting anxious and nervous because once they put that little thingy inside of me, I started going crazy because I'm just like, it's his heart that's messing up. You know what I mean? Like, I just got so scared. So now I'm like pushing, but like I'm not pushing hard enough because I'm scared. So they asked me like, do I want to use like a suction? And I'm like, what you mean suction? Like, they're like, it's like a little suction that you put on top of his head, and like they'll help pull it while I'm pushing. I was nervous. I made sure that they were gonna that his head wasn't gonna be deformed or anything. That was my biggest fear. Like, yeah, I want him out, but I want him to have a normal sized head too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need no birth, no problems or anything, because we haven't had a problem yet, and I want to keep it that way. But yeah, so he was sucked out, but before he came out, I think the lady that was actually doing the suction cup or the vacuum, she was like in training or something, because the thing kept coming off, like, and there was another doctor next to her that was like like telling her how to do it, and in my head I'm just like, why are you trying to teach somebody this at a time like this? That's all I was saying. Like, that's what I was thinking about. Like, ow, like it hurts. Like, I feel that. Like, yes, I'm adorable. Yes, I feel that. So that's when he came out. I didn't know if he came out. If that makes sense. Like, I didn't feel all that coming out, like them pulling him out and stuff. They literally like plopped him on my chest, and that's when I started crying. My mom started crying. Everybody started crying, and it was amazing from then. He was very alert. His eyes were wide open, and we were just like staring at each other, and I was just crying. I just kept saying like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is mine." Like, I just kept saying stuff like that. I was holding for a very long time. My mom cut the umbilical cord. They said my umbilical cord was very short. I don't know what that means. I mean, my belly was small. He's small. But yeah, she cut the umbilical cord, and they stitched me up down there. That felt, I'm not gonna say it hurt, but it definitely felt so weird. I don't think that I felt them stitching. I think I felt them pulling whatever thread together. That messed with my stomach like so bad. So as I'm holding him on my chest, I'm like, Mom, what are they doing down there? Like, come on. Like, I thought this was over. And you're like, no, hon, like, you tore, we have to stitch you up, yada, yada. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, it felt so uncomfortable, but yeah, you have a baby. It just felt so good up top, but like, down there, it was just like, when is this going to be over? Like, let me know. So then they took him after I was stitched. It took like 15 minutes to stitch me up. We took him, weighed him, did all that fun stuff, his little footprints and all that stuff. I'm still crying on the bed. It was just crazy to like look over and like see a baby and be like, that's my kid. Like, I carried you and now you're out. Like, you're here. So it was just such an amazing moment. So they moved me to the mommy and baby room, and that's where I stayed until I was discharged. And like I said, I had really good nurses. My nighttime nurses were amazing. I was numb on my left side, waist down until the morning after, so until Monday morning, kind of afternoon. So I wasn't even able to like change his diaper or anything, which kind of like put me in a funk. Luckily, my mom, like, she stayed with me the whole time at the hospital, so she had to like change him the first night and the first morning because I wasn't even able to stand. I wasn't even able to walk to the bathroom, and that sucked. Being back in my left side of me, my back, I wasn't able to stand. Meaning, I could get up, but I would like hunch over because of the pain in my back was just so horrible. I literally felt like they were just not contractions, but I was very uncomfortable. I wasn't able to like lean over his crib thing that they put him in to change his diaper. So I kind of like felt useless. Like it was just like I couldn't do anything for him except for feed him. And he was only eating like drops at a time, like the first milk. And it kind of got to me, but I was very grateful that my mom was there so she could, take care of him when I couldn't. I'm like going nuts because I couldn't sleep in the hospital really well because there's so many people coming in and out, from doctors to nurses to practitioners to the trash people to the people that want to do the test on the baby to birth certificate people, social security card people. There's so many people coming inside the room, so every time they came in, I'm waking up. During the day and during the night, it was like he was up. Got home, and that was literally the beginning of my new life. So like I said, I just wanted to put this video out there to share everything I went through. And if you guys have gone through anything similar, you guys can comment below. And thank you guys for watching this video. And if you liked it, like I always say, if you really, really liked my video, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.